Hello, my name is Stephen Jerome, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Jerome. I'm from the Gaspé First Nations band here in Quebec. We live on the Gaspé Peninsula in the section called the Baie de Chaleur. And I am an ancestral black ash basket maker here in my shop called the Ash Hole. Why we called it the Ash Hole is because that's all I do is work with ash. So we said, well, we'll call it the Ash Hole, as written on the outside of my shop. This is what we use as the black ash tree. And this tree here, probably, it's about 35 years old before I'm ready to pick it. Because anything other than that is too small, and I go 35 to 60 years old, sometimes a little more. It depends on quality. So what I did earlier today, I split it down the middle with my axe here, and everything's all with my hands. So we did a film on my father's tools, and it shows a lot more detail in 7 minutes. And after that, I'm going to jump on this, and I'm going to show you how I separate the layers, because these are the most important layers right here, with the white and the brown. So I'm going to jump onto that right now. And that represents 1 year. And I'll be able to split that into each layer into 6 months after, and I'll show you. So this is what I got earlier. I split it all, everything's all by the axe. Now I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to saw this all down, and I'm going to take I'm going to pound that down just to separate the layers, because there's a little cushion in between each layer. So what the pounder does, it smashes this cushion, the layers, and it just separates it and loosens it up. What I value the most of what I do is being able to take a tree and do what I want with it to help me work, help me pay my bills, help me put food on the table. And everything has to do with the ash tree and what it means to us in our life, in our whole life here. This is my horse. I haven't been bucked off yet, and I'll show you. And it's all by hand. There's no machines doing this part here. And what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get it the same width all the way. There, I'm ready to pound that. I used to make baskets before during my drinking times and all that, and I was using my art the wrong way, so I decided to get sober. And I'm going on 18 years of sobriety, and that's one thing we're told to find a pastime. I've always had a pastime. It's what I did with it that was the wrong thing I was doing. So right there now I use it as also therapy, and it's not a job, it's a passion. You know, you don't have to force me to come into my shop and to work. You know, if I need a break, the wood's going to tell me. If it starts doing cracking wrong, this and that, the wood's telling me take a break, go fishing, go live off the land, go find another way to bring home maybe a fish, bring it to your table. This is my pounder. There, what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna split that in half. Because it's too thick for what I need to use it for. And I will be using my splitter. And Mi'kmaq, this is called Biliwit Bimkawe. It's a splitter, Biliwit Bimkawe. All I gotta do is score it. And this is only 2 pieces of wood stuck together. There's no blade or anything in there, nothing at all. It's just the force of pulling it apart. Here. And it's all hand scraped. Every basket that I do, it's all hand scraped. So what I did, I split that in one year of growth ring into 6 months. And I'm going to attempt to do it one more time. It'll be 3 months. 3 months. Oh yes, I got it. With these pieces here, there's people that make fancy baskets, and they'll use this to make the points. See the pointy things that they use on baskets to decorate them? Well, this is how this is made. And it could be just regular ones, but the favorite ones are these ones here. Look how pointy that is. And that's called a jikajich. That's 3 months of a growth ring. I'll be thinking like a bird. That's where we learned how to make baskets. We're always told the story of the bird, the beavers, the animals in the woods making nests. They'll take everything and they'll weave it in, they'll make sure it's solid. That's the same thing with our baskets. It's the same thing. We got to think like the animals in nature, and that's where we learned how to make all the stuff that we do today. And my aunt, that's all stories from the ancestors coming down. I have footage of my great-grandfather at 1939 making baskets, and he was about 82 years old at the time. I have footage on my thing here. I'll show you guys that later. Yeah, my great grandfather Peter Glode taught my great grandfather Dan Kondo. Dan Kondo taught my father, and my father taught me. And right there now, I'm trying to spread my knowledge. That's why I go to communities and teach. I'll go to many communities during all year round, and I'll go teach. I went to Ottawa. It's unbelievable the places I'm going now, because this tradition is it's almost a lost tradition now. Making the baskets is the easiest thing, but preparing the wood, even just choosing the right tree, is skill on its own. You got to know how it smells. You got to make sure it grows in the right area where all the fiddleheads are growing. You got to make sure there's no cedar trees growing beside it. You got to make sure that the poplar trees grow with it, so it makes a cover. Because this is a tree you don't want to grow too fast. Then the layers are too thick, and you're not able to do anything with it. So you got to know. But there's people that used to go in the woods and they used to pick truckloads of ash, and they back it up here, and I look at them. Just by backing it up, I'll know right away I had only 2 good out of 30 logs. They're full of knots, the discoloration in there, the smell. That's why we made our film, My Father's Tools, just for that practice on smelling, making sure you're not going to work for nothing taking that tree out of the woods. and bring it home. And it's gonna, you split it and all it does is crack. You bend it, it cracks. So this is good quality tree that we have here. I had to travel 66 kilometers up along the river and 7 kilometers inland. Then go in the woods, trot a trail to find this tree right here. Because right there now, in New Brunswick, we have a problem with the emerald ash borer. It's making its way here. So it's a species at risk right now. Yeah. And even if it comes, I still have to go in there and try to cut what they didn't get yet. You know, the government's trying to ban the picking of the black ash tree. Why ban it when you can go in and save some of them and bring them home and work with them, you know, to provide for my family here. This is my only source of income, and this is what I do. I've been doing this over 42 years now, and that's the only life I know. Well, I could do other things, you know, but this is my passion. This is my therapy. I'm going on 18 years sobriety using this as therapy also. You know, we always grew up in a family, our native heritage, knowing how important this is for us as First Nations people to practice our culture and to keep it going. You know, my father always said, keep it going, because one day nobody's going to be doing this. So the day he died, you know, not the day he died, but before he died, I told him I'm going to keep it going, and I've been keeping it going since. You know, I've been making baskets for about 42 years now, and I can remember a time I was a little kid making baskets in school and show and tell, and this is who we are. So right there now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start the bottom of the basket. That's very important to have my pieces straight. So I'm going to use 8 pieces. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll start off with this and I'll add another 8 pieces after this. So this is the halfway point. Measure halfway. I'm going to go this is halfway. Right here, this half. And this part is the most important part. It's the setup. You got to be perfectly over the middle. This here goes right here. That's 4. Number 5 right here. These ones follow each other. 6. There's number 7. And number 8. Now this is the most important part also, is your last one is number 8 right here, so you're going to lock that one in. This is the pieces I used earlier that I pounded, and I got them all in thinner pieces like that. And that's my starter. So this was my last one here. So I push it all down. I put my weight on there a little bit to hold it all down. And I'm going to lock this piece right here. Right here. And this is very important. This is it just holds everything together. You have to start off good. So it's in and out once. Move that around. Keep on going, hold it. And this is probably the hardest part on the basket. Anybody that makes baskets that have a hard time. And you see, it's already sticking together, see? Bouncing all, being all one piece. Move that over. And you see a nice circle. Move this over. And I'm going to end up right here. And this is very important right here. This part right here. This part right here you have to skip. Because if you don't skip, look what happens. You're on the same track and it's not holding anything, see? So your strength is to skip one and you lock it in like this. And once you have it locked in, Everything's all put together. And that's where the strength of the basket starts. You can already throw that around if you want, and that it won't separate. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep weaving. Pressing it here, making sure there's one hand, one finger that's holding it here, the other one's pushing it, the other one's grabbing it. There's many things going on as you're going. Your thumb's holding it down, this is helping to go in, everything's in motion here. There's 5 things going on at the same time. There. And at this part here, I'm going to skip the next 2 over. Because if I don't skip, look, it doubles right here, see? And that's what you don't want. You skip here, you skip the next 2 over. You skipped here, now these 2 are next. Keep on going. Now I'm coming off to the end of my piece here. What I'm going to do is skip 2 here, and I'm going to take this and tie it right here. That's enough right here, just to tie that in. And look at that already. And the strength is already there. It's, you know. So now I'm going to add 8 more pieces because I want to make it a little bit bigger. I'll start off with one here. The next one goes on the side next to it. This one goes on the next one over the center, across from each other. Next one right here. Right here, and these last 2 pieces right here. Last one is here. It's important for this last one that you know this is where you're going to start. You're going to hold it all down because you're going to connect the bottom to the top. And this is the last one I laid earlier, so I'm going to lock that in right here. See? Now pull it a tiny bit right here. Then I'm going to just keep going. And this is space, which is what you need here. It's okay. You can move around on you, no problem. Just adjust them as you go. This is where a lot of people lose it. They'll wonder, oh, it's falling apart, it's falling apart. They'll panic. And I said, no, just keep going with the flow, adjust them one at a time as you're going. And you notice this wood is very flexible. If you have a rotten tree, this would have broke a long time ago. It would have cracked and snapped. So it's important to get a good tree out of the woods. Then here, this is where I started. So I'll go like that and I'll lock it in right here. Just doing that right here locks it in. So now I'll skip 2. There we go. Just that piece right there. Holds everything together. And that's the start of your basket right here. And it's solid. You throw it around now, it ain't going to fall apart. So I'm going to keep on going. And it gets easier. As you're going, it gets a little easier. Because you're no longer in tight corners, tight areas. Now I'm going to get my mold to see if I weaved it enough. This is the size of my basket. So I probably got to use 2 more pieces. And these molds also, we try to make everything. At one time we used to use logs, just whole logs, and that got heavy to lug around all over the place, so we had to find an easier way. In our family, we've been making baskets mostly all our lives. You know, school wasn't, for us, school wasn't a very big thing at the time. My father was in a wheelchair, suffering from multiple sclerosis. And we were his hands and feet. And we all helped each other in the family. We all got together, one big room. And that's how we were able to keep our language. I'm full Mi'kmaq. I speak full 100% the language. Almost. Just about. One little piece and we're ready to rock and roll. Maybe you know there was a water. I listen to what I'm maula. Listen to one of them. I'm going to go around about 3 times. This is called the weaving. There's a limit. I stop when it starts to do a little crackle. We got to do this before it dries, because it's a wood that dries fast. This is the bottom, so we want our bottom to be like this, so it doesn't rock when you put it down on the bottom. It won't do that rock thing. Well, right there now, what I do in the shop during the week, we have 18 members of our reservation that are making baskets because of me. I prepare the material, I deliver to the center, and they're just making their unemployment stamps out of it. The elders are working with the younger people and showing them the tricks that they know. Pass it down to the next generation, and for sure it benefits everyone, not just here. I also prepare material for other peoples in other First Nations communities, and there's this one time where this guy went somewhere and said, "Do you know Stephen Jerome?" He said, "Yeah, tell him thank you." And he came here, he said thank you. He said because of Stephen's material, the black ash, she's able to feed her children, and have a better life for this mother in another reserve. And I still don't know which one it is that sent the message. All right, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna start like that, just to bring the sides up. And all I'm gonna do is weave around. lock it in here. Then I'll be cutting this with my scissors that were here a minute ago. Oh. And here, tuck it in behind this one so we don't see it. So grab another piece. And we're good to start the second row, and you see it's already starting to hold together. A lot of people say, can you teach me how to make baskets? I tell them no. You gotta learn how to fix the ash first. What if you know how to make a basket and don't know how to make the material? What you gonna do after that? Give it a little extra strength. Use it up. You see it coming together. Now that's our limit. We're going to go on this one. So now I'm going to take this off, unscrew that off. And look at that. And a moment of truth, drum roll right here. Look at that. And that's the start of your laundry basket. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pack this all down, squeeze them all down, bend these in, then I'll be getting ready with the handles after that. So this is the part, I'm going to bend these in. This is going to hold the top rim. Okay, now these ones here, I'm the ones that are going to tuck them in. I'll give them a little angle so they're sliding easier. Bend that here, give it a little bend. You go to the next one down and you tuck them in. And when you're making baskets, the time just goes so fast. You don't have time to think. You don't have, it just time just goes and goes. So you still have that bottom round here. It ain't not gonna rock, stays flat. So these are the handles that I prepared earlier. One's brown, one's white. I'm just gonna give that basket some character. And I just slide them in here. And I'll go right across from that one and go to this one and that one. And this here locks in into the grooves here. And I'll put these little ties just to hold it in. I'll put a couple only. Put one more and we're going to do the next phase. I'm going to put sweetgrass around the rim of this one. Yeah, look at that already. They're lock-in grips, no nails, solid basket. You know, I practice every one of those. I'm 100% Mi'kmaq. I speak it fluently. That's all we spoke growing up as a kid, and it all started us being in one room and all working together, learning the language. I go around teaching. I'll offer courses in other communities, just for this culture to keep on going. And whenever I leave a community, I get a call back saying that they need material to make baskets, or they need the training, and I'll go there and I'll train the people, and that just keeps the ball going. You know, they're able to fix material for their own people and fix material for their own self to make baskets, because I've taught them how to make these big baskets right here, and it all starts with that. It only takes one person in the community to really get it, which will help me out also. That, you know, it relieves the stress. That person keep it going. Especially when you come in my ash hole, you smell the sweetgrass. That's what gives it that extra good smell. I kid you not. So I'll take this and I'll go in here and I'll start weaving. And this is going to hold the top rim. Make sure it's tight. You know, I suffer from arthritis, and you know, the doctor said just keep doing what you're doing. Because as soon as I take some time off, I could feel my hands starting to stiffen up on me. So I have to always move my hands. They get sore, but it's better that I move them. And all this sweetgrass is all picked by hand, one piece at a time. It's a job just to pick it now I'm going to go back this way because this is the part that's going to be used the most. Everything's going to rub on that. Everything, grab it, pull it, throw it, kick it. I'm going to make sure that anything that I make is going to be tough. Going to make it last a lifetime for what it's needed for. There you go, see the X. Tighten it up pretty good. At one time we were wondering, what should we call our shop? It could be, we were going to name it My Father's Tool Shop because of our film, My Father's Tools and all that. And I said, why don't we call it the Ash Hole? You know, since we're on the res, you know, we all have that, we're all got that res humor. It's a little bit comedy, you know. People driving by, you know, rubbernecking and you know, I feel like telling them, hey, what are you looking at, my ash hole? You know, and sometimes I got kids going by, tell Steve, you got a nice ash hole. And the parents be driving behind them and telling them, don't say it like that. You know, but Mom, read it. It says ash hole. Ah, you know. So this is where it all happens. Black ash basketry in my ash hole. See how strong the fiber is? You pull on it and it won't crack. Good quality. Now it's just the touch-ups. You don't want nothing to be catching onto your favorite underwear, you know, ripping them, mine especially. And they're not made in China, right? Some, you know, some nice things come out of my ash hole, you know.